Okay, so bear with me here. This is new technology for me, and I'm still trying to figure it out. But anyway, so one of the things that we need to do as we finish up our geometry curriculum is talk about how to write the general equation for a circle. And what I mean by that is we're going to actually graph circles according to their equations. And then we're also going to go ahead and be able to pick from a picture of a bunch of graphs which equation represents that circle. Okay? And bear with me as my cat is trying to jump on the table and my daughters are screaming in the other room. Okay, so here's the general equation for a circle, and this is going to look really confusing. I'm going to show you some examples, and it should make a lot more sense, okay? So you've got x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, okay? And the really important part about this is the following. The center of this specific circle up here is going to be h comma k, and the radius is going to be r, okay? So let's look at a couple examples of this, and I think this will become much more clear with a few examples. Okay, so what if they asked us to sketch the following circle? Sorry, that should be x minus 2, let me zoom in here, sorry. This should be x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared equals 4. Okay, and that 4 is actually, I mean that 4 to be a 4, not 4 squared, okay? Okay, so if they ask us to sketch a graph of that circle, here's what we're going to do, okay? We need to figure out the center, okay? And the center, in this case, is going to be, what did we say? The center is HK, where H is this number right here, and K is this number right here. Okay, so the center of this circle is going to be 2, comma 1. Okay, so the center is going to be 2, comma 1, and the radius in this case, well, let's look at it. R squared, in our case, is 4. So what value of R squared would give us 4? Well, the radius must be 2. Okay, so let's just go over to this point right here, 2, 1. And put a point there. Okay, so 2, 1. Follow with me over here. I'm assuming that this is my x and y axis here, so let's call this our y axis. We'll call this our x axis. Okay? So here's our y, here's our x. Okay? 2, comma 1. So I'm going to go over 2 for x and up 1 for y. So 2, comma 1 is this point right here. And my finger doesn't do a very good job drawing points, so bear with me. Okay, and then we just need to sketch a circle where the radius is 2 from this point, okay? So if the radius is 2, sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually find, so if the radius is 2, that means I'm here, that means my circle is going to be out here, and it's going to kind of run like this, okay? So what I'll do is I'll just put a couple points where I know my circle is going to exist, like right here, right here, right here, and then right here, and then I'll actually just go ahead and draw the circle through it. Okay, bear with me. I left my stylus at school, but okay, so that right there is the circle whose equation is given. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. That right there is the circle whose equation is given right here. Okay, so let's try another example. Okay, so what if they ask us to sketch the following circle? The circle whose equation is x plus 1 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 9. Okay, first of all, we have this awkward situation where up here we said x minus h squared, but here we have a plus. So what do we do with the plus? What I want you to do with the plus is consider a plus similar to subtracting a negative. So let me write that out and show you what I mean by that. So here's how we're going to do this, okay? Oh, I forgot to write the squareds in here. Bear with me. The x plus 1 part is now going to become x minus negative 1, okay? Because x plus 1 and x minus negative 1 are really saying the same thing, right? And you can do this for the y as well. Like if you had y plus 3 over here. We don't in this case. But if you did, you could do, say, y minus negative 3. Okay? So now, the same thing still applies for our general circle, right? For the equation for a general circle. Okay? So the center here is still going to be h and k. And the radius is still going to be, r squared is still going to be 9. Okay? So our center here is going to be negative 1, comma, 3, and our radius squared equals 9. So if our radius squared equals 9, then we'll have 3. Some people often ask me, well, does that mean, what if like r squared is 10? That can't happen. And the answer is, unfortunately, yes, it kind of can. And it's kind of annoying when it does because, I don't know, what is that, like 3.31 or something like that, the square root of 10? Or 3.2 or something like that. Anyway, I don't know. But that can happen, and sometimes that will happen, and you'll just have to kind of judge from the graph which one you think actually shows, you know, a radius of slightly more than 3. Okay? So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So let's go ahead and graph this here. So our center is going to be at negative 1, comma 3. So if we have our xy axis here, so here's our y, here's our x. Okay, negative 1, comma 3. So we're going to go negative 1, 3 is going to be right here on this point. Okay, and then let's zoom out here. Our radius is 3, so that means that we're going to definitely hit down here. We're also going to hit over here, up here, and over here. Okay, so let's put those points in. So we definitely are going to want to point here. 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 there, and 1, 2, 3 there. Okay, and now the rest is just go ahead and draw the circle through those points. Okay, hopefully you can draw your circle a little better than me. Okay, so that's a really basic tutorial for how you sketch this graph of a circle given the equation. This works backwards too. If they give you the graph, you should be able to figure out the equation pretty easily, okay? So, not too terribly difficult, but I just wanted to give you guys an intro since we didn't have time to work on this today, and I let you guys work on your MH370 posters. But anyway, that's all I want you to know for now, and then tomorrow we will work on graphing them and also identifying the equation from a graph. And then I'll give you some quality core questions that will relate with those, and since I know you guys love the quality core questions. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.